Coming at you from the AO Studios, it's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Coming at you live from the AO Studio.
Ayo.
It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight. The NBA draft is happening. The Lakers have a new coach, and we say goodbye to an all-time legend. But we'll begin today's show with the Stanley Cup. It's a wrap, folks. The Panthers, after having a 3-0 lead in the finals, beat the Edmonton Oilers 2-1 to win the first Stanley Cup in the franchise's 30-year history. The Panthers won, the Oilers lost, and Connor McDavid won the Conn Smythe Trophy. So, Z, what will you take away from the Stanley Cup Finals?
Well, kudos to the Edmonton Oilers. They put up a hell of a fight. I mean, they almost pulled off something that hadn't been done since the 1940s. So, kudos to them. They put up a hell of a fight. To go from 3-0 to 3-3, winner take all, and what do we say about Game 7s? All bets are off.
All bets are off.
All bets are off. And when push came to shove, the Panthers came to push and shove. Like, that's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to muck it up, they needed to rough it up, and they needed to slow down this Edmonton Oilers team, and that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they came to do, and that's exactly what they did. None of their big guns scored. None. So they did exactly what they were supposed to do. Matthias Janmark, that's the guy who got the Edmonton Oilers loan tally. So, with that, it's something to be said that the Florida Panthers were able to neutralize and get back to what they were good at. And when it came down to it, Sergei Bobrovsky clamped it down. Florida clamped it down. Those last 5 minutes in the third period, it was a friggin' shooting gallery. Like, the Florida Panthers could not. Like, the Edmonton Oilers could not score, and the Florida Panthers could not get it out of their zone. And it seemed that the McDavid-Draisaitl line was on for the entirety of the last 5 minutes. It was like a giant 5-minute shift in that third period. And they could not get it. At one point, Bobrovsky is flat on his ass doing a snow angel, and the net is yawning. It's like, dude, you cannot miss this if you tried. Oh, and they did. They missed, and they missed a lot. So, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, in the moment, I'm dissatisfied with my performance. You know, I have the star player, right? I have the two most gifted offensive players in Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. And both of those guys are complete no-shows in Game 6 and Game 7. So there's something to be said for that. And Draisaitl, he was a complete non-factor in the series. No goals. And he's a free agent. He's a free agent. So that's going to be something that is going to kind of follow him over the summer. Like, people are making a big deal about McDavid not going out and getting his Conn Smythe Trophy. For one, I don't know necessarily if he should have won the Conn Smythe Trophy. I understand that it's for the totality of the playoffs. But outside of two games, Sergei Bobrovsky was a fucking wall. Outside of 2 games in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, I'm not mad that you gave it to McDavid. I understand. However, I feel like Bobrovsky was just as deserving of the Conn Smythe Trophy. But kudos to the Panthers. They did exactly what they did in the first three games of the series. They found what they were, right? They lost it, and then they found it. And the Rats get the cup. Like, that's plain and simple. The Rats got the cup. They earned the cup. Congratulations.
They earned it.
Yeah, they completely earned it. And Edmonton
Yeah,
Oilers, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was glad the Panthers won. I did not want them to be the team that lost, 4 straight games after being up 3-0. I did not want that to fall on this team. If it was the Yankees, I want it to fall on the Yankees. Or if it was the Dodgers, I'd want it to fall on the Dodgers. I'd want it to fall on the team that spent a lot of money and really didn't deserve to be there, didn't grit it out. That's who I'd want it to fall on. The Panthers have been knocking on the door for the last 2 to 3 years, right? And they had the goalie. I mean, he was just amazing throughout the playoffs. We saw what he did to the Rangers, and we saw what he did earlier in the series, and they were home. And they were home. I didn't want the story to end with them dropping 4 straight and losing the last one at home. And then the story becomes it's a Florida team. They're playing ice hockey. It becomes
the Panthers
terrible.
and their 3 fans. Yeah,
they
exercised a lot of demons.
But, I mean, I think hats off to the NHL because it was a fantastic series. It was way better than the NBA's trash product. And, I hope this fuels Connor McDavid to be back. I hope he does make it back there, and I hope he makes it back there with Edmonton. I don't want to see him go anywhere else and chase rings or chase the trophy later in his career. I want to see it happen in Edmonton for him, and I'm with you with the Draisaitl thing. Where the fuck were you, bro? You're a free agent, and I'm assuming you're hurt, but even in those final minutes, you were just waste out there. It's that was the disappointing thing for me. I was expecting more action from the 3rd overall pick in the 2014 draft, man. I thought, and I thought we were going to get more out of him. It was a resilient effort. It was, but it just goes to show you it's hard to be down 3-0 and come back and win, right, man?
Completely.
Where was this earlier? You guys could have made this a series, and really, you could have won the last game in Edmonton, and that should have been where you won the championship. You shouldn't have had to gone down to Florida to win Game 7. So.
Well, my question is this: where did this come from? Where did you pack it away if you were the Panthers, right? Because it was 3-0, and then you just lose it. It's just completely gone. The physicality is gone. The grit is gone. The toughness is gone. You rediscover it. You found it. It's like at the end of Top Gun when Tom Cruise has Goose's dog tags and he re-engages, and now all of a sudden he can't miss. So, he found who he was again. So, I just want to know, if Edmonton somehow managed to win that game last night, Paul Maurice is getting dragged, right? They fired Andrew Brunette to bring this guy in 3 seasons ago. And then you author one of the greatest, if not the greatest, postseason collapses ever. You got to be thinking about some stuff. But you know what? It boils down to coaching. Paul Maurice had his guys ready to go, and I just want to key in on some interesting ice time totals. Now, for those of you new to the sport of hockey, they play 60 minutes, so 3 20-minute periods. Connor McDavid's time on the ice, 25:42. 25:42, so over a period. You're looking at Zach Hyman, 24:52. Leon Draisaitl, 22:22. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 21. And then you got guys like Derek Ryan, 6:54. Corey Perry, 7:52. McLeod, 9:02. Even their third line, a guy like Adam Henrique, they outbid the Rangers for the services of Adam Henrique. He only played 11 minutes. That seems to be a really disparate amount. So if I'm Edmonton and I'm Chris Knobloch, I'm going back to the drawing board. I'm I can't have one big line and then 3 other also ran lines. Like, I gotta get deeper. I gotta get better. And the fact that I'm about to lose Draisaitl, that's a problem. So I gotta pony up and make sure I keep him. But how do I get deeper? How do I get better? Like, how do I get better? Because if you're looking at, like, Evan Bouchard, he's got a hell of a damn slap shot, but he doesn't really do it for me. He's flat. Cody Ceci, I've seen him. Ekholm, I've seen him. Kulak was not great. Darnell Nurse, he's been hurt. So, like, my defense has to get better. Everybody was talking about Stuart Skinner. Stuart Skinner was not the problem. Stuart Skinner was actually really good in this series. Right? It's not like he was Mike Smith. Like, Mike Smith was a problem back in the day. Like, you know, this guy's good. He's legit. He's the goods. How does this team get better? I don't know. Like, maybe, and here's a crazy idea. Like, we were talking about, how do you fix the Rangers, right? Maybe you call them about Zibanejad, or you call them about Panarin. Like, maybe you try and swing a trade that works out for both teams. They need more depth in their top 6. Right? We have a top 6 in the Rangers. I just don't know. And you need to free up cap space. Right? Because the Rangers are knocking up against cap hell again. So maybe it's something you do. The NHL draft is on Friday. I expect players to move. Maybe not the caliber of Panarin and Zibanejad, but we've already seen it. Linus Ullmark got traded. He's now an Ottawa Senator. Jonas Korpisalo went back in the other direction. Like, he's making a shit ton of money. So, you know, stranger things have happened. But if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out, how do I get better and how do I get deeper to continue this run? Because, like, as presently constituted, I don't know. I just don't see it. The Panthers, they're set up for a long time. Yeah, Reinhardt's going to be a free agent. You know, Sam Bennett, I think, is a free agent. You have some guys that are running up against it, but you're deep. Like, the Panthers are dealing from a position of strength, and the Oilers right now are going to be dealing from a position of weakness, as far as I can tell. And that's a major issue moving forward.
We're all busy these days and wear a lot of hats, myself included. I'm a teacher, a podcast host, and a chef instructor. But there's one thing we all have in common. We all have to get dinner on the table. And if you need a little inspiration in the kitchen, check out As You Eat It, only on YouTube, hosted by me, Chef Z. I invite you into my home and show you methods designed to empower and inspire you in the kitchen. Cook how you want to cook, eat how you want to eat. Eat as you eat it. That's A-Z, you eat it, only on YouTube. Check it out and let's get cooking.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. And moving over to the NBA, there's some coaching news. The Lakers have decided to go the Brooklyn Nets route and hire former NBA player and current ESPN analyst JJ Redick to be the next head coach of the LA Lakers, over Monty Williams, over JB Bickerstaff, and over 100 other qualified candidates. JJ is smug, he is cocky, and he is an inexperienced coach. Z, why will this work?
So you're saying he's the honky tonk man?
He's
cool. He's cocky.
He's bad.
Why will it work?
Man. He's the same age as you and me. He's the same age as LeBron. He had a production thing going, a podcast going with LeBron. You don't think it's going to work. But the Lakers seem to know what they're doing, right? They have 18 championships. 17 championships. So they must know what they're doing, right?
Not necessarily. Like, this does not make sense. This job has become a problem since Phil Jackson left. Right? Who has stayed? Byron Scott, not very long. Frank Vogel, not very long. Darvin Ham, not very long. People don't want to be there. Luke Walton, I think he was the longest tenured guy at 3 seasons. That's not good, dude. Like, this is becoming sort of an issue. And LeBron wasn't there for all of it, so we can't even say, like, oh, fuck LeBron. It's him. Like, no, he's only been here for Vogel and Darvin Ham, and a little bit of Byron Scott. I don't think he was there for all of Scott, but he was there for Vogel. He was there for Ham. He was there, you know. He's had his stamp on these recent hires, but this has been a problem for a while. Now they've been able to cover it up because they had Kobe and they had good teams. Now, it's not a great team. It's LeBron, it's AD, and it's a huge drop off to number 3. Who's that? D'Angelo Russell? Would you say that's the number 3? Or Rui Hashimura? Austin Reeves? Who's your number 3?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's D'Angelo.
Yeah, and I already saw like a rumor because we're talking about NBA trades around surrounding the draft, and these are all probably pipe dreams, but you see something like the Cavs and the Lakers working a deal to bring in Donovan Mitchell to play alongside LeBron and AD. I don't see that, but anything's possible. But what makes me think that JJ Redick is going to come in there with no experience, with the Steve Nash? He has as much as Steve Nash did. Well, what makes me think that this is going to be any different? Right? I don't think so. I can't see it. Just because he went to Duke? That's just I don't care where you went to college. I don't care where the hell you went to college. If Mike Krzyzewski came in and coached the team, okay, now we're on to something. They were trying to woo Coach K for years, but I don't see it. Monty Williams, he at least has experience. He's got $65 million that's owed to him by the Pistons because they canned his ass, but he at least has some experience. The Cavs just hired Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson's a teacher. He's great. He got the shit end of the stick in Brooklyn. Let's be real here. Kenny Atkinson was building something. Sean Marks was building something. They had a good young core, and they decided to blow it up. Shame on them. But that doesn't change the fact that Kenny Atkinson is a damn fine basketball coach. And Cleveland probably got better.
And a hell of a model American.
Oh, yeah. He's the real American. He fights for the rights of every man. Good for him. But, what has JJ Redick done? What dues has he paid? And, now he's talking about, he dropped an F-bomb in his introductory press conference because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to deal with any misconceptions about him. Well, there you go. You've already proven everything we need to know about you. Right there. That's all we need to know. It's I'm just here to be the coach. I'm here to win championships, and I don't give a fuck. Well, that's all fine and dandy. That's all wonderful. Well, what's your plan? You need a plan. You're talking a big game right now, JJ. What is your plan? Kissing LeBron's ass is not a long-term plan. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Kissing his ass is not the long-term plan. And if the Lakers draft Bronny, oh, for fuck's sake. This is, might as well just change the name to the Los Angeles LeBrons. So, how is this going to work? It's not going to work. Plain and simple. My question is, which rat wants to get off the ship first?
Well,
which one?
Maybe this is the way. By having JJ as the coach, this is the same thing as having LeBron as the coach. Maybe that's what this is all about. Because you can't tell me that JJ is going to be able to walk into a locker room and get D'Angelo Russell to listen to him.
No.
You can't tell me that when there's a timeout, he's going to be able to go over to AD with a clipboard and show AD something that, he's going to take and use on the court. You can't. Maybe he might be able to get Austin Reeves to listen to him, but I don't. Who's going to respect JJ Redick? Who? Dude, you only dunked one time in your whole professional career. And yeah, you were a good college player. Some people think you were a great college player. I think you were just good.
He's a decent shooter in the NBA.
I think coaching comes down to leadership and respect. And JJ Redick isn't a name you're going to mention with Phil Jackson or Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr spent time in the front office with the Suns.
Right.
Steve Kerr understands basketball and understands player development and understands concepts, knows how to talk to the media, knows how to talk to players, knows how to get the best out of players. I just don't see how you think someone who's never coached before could just pick up a clipboard and do that. And again, maybe we're reading into it the wrong way. Maybe Steve Nash in Brooklyn was the way of letting Harden, Durant, and Irving run the team. Maybe LeBron, maybe JJ Redick in LA is the same as having LeBron run the team. Maybe that's what it is. Because I can't see how you wouldn't hire Monty Williams, who's a guy that LeBron respects, or Sam Cassell, who has spent years on a bench, has played on a championship team, is a winner.
Shit, I'd take Penny Hardaway from Memphis, dude. I would take Penny Hardaway.
Right? Yeah. Like, and even Bickerstaff did a good job with Cleveland this year. They didn't win, but he did a good job. Like, he knows what he's talking about. I just don't. But then again, the only other part that I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Oh, Cole's getting rocked. This is great. The only benefit of the doubt I'll give is that they do have multiple championships. They know how to draft. Maybe they know something that we don't know.
Well, first of all, this is, Rob Pelinka, right? This is not Jerry West. Rest in peace. We didn't mention Jerry West. Rest in peace. Legend, logo, icon. And he was the architect. As much as it was Phil, somebody had to get him those players, and Jerry West got him the players before it was Mitch Kupchak.
But this is also them not getting their guy, right? I mean, they wanted Hurley, right? I mean,
yeah.
Is that they wanted Hurley, and they're like, well, if we can't get Hurley, who gives a shit?
But here's the thing: they wanted Hurley, but Redick was their first contact. I found it very interesting. So I really don't know. Maybe they thought they couldn't get Redick because. I mean, he's leaving a cushy gig with ESPN.
Not only with ESPN, but he does have his own podcast, and he has a podcast with LeBron, so he is making money. Like he don't need to do this,
right?
And he did,
right, exactly.
And he did. Wait a minute, and let's not forget that I think he auditioned for the Orlando job and didn't get it. Like straight up, just didn't get it. Like they went with somebody else.
It's like, no, we're gonna go with Jacques Vaughn. We're gonna go.
We're good, man.
We're
good. Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks. We appreciate this. But yeah, we're gonna go with someone a little more experienced than you.
No,
and then you
completely.
go and get the Laker job. So
you don't
get the Orlando job, but you get the Laker job.
I don't know. That seems a little crazy to me. But he needs to hire veteran assistants. Like that's the thing. He needs to realize and recognize that he doesn't know everything. If he goes in there thinking he's hot shit, he's going to get his world rocked. He needs to go in there with a sense of humility. Like, I don't know everything. I need to learn. I'm learning on the job. His coaching career is such. The Lakers, and he was the volunteer 4th grade head coach at Brooklyn Basketball Academy. I shit you not. He was the volunteer head coach for the 4th graders at Brooklyn Basketball Academy. And I'll be damned if I can't find records. I can't find his record for last year. So, there you go. There's JJ Redick's coaching experience. So, technically he did have more coaching experience than Steve Nash, but they're 4th graders.
Bring him by the neck.
So, there you go. Pick him up. Lift him up. There you go. You have one more dunk than me.
All right. Well, we're sticking with basketball. Hey, the NBA draft is tonight. The NBA has decided to stretch this much maligned event into 2 days. Most expect a lot of foreign players to be taken in this draft since the NCAA crop this year was headlined by Caitlin Clark. And by the way, she's a women's basketball player. So what do you expect to see tonight in the NBA draft?
Well, what are we looking at here, right? Are we looking at a bunch of Euros that we don't really know anything about, a lot of potential? You're looking at Zach Edey. Where's Zach Edey going to end up? You're going to have guys like Donovan Clingan, Reed Shepherd, Dalton Connect. Like, none of these guys, nothing really, it's not last year's draft, right? Let's just plain and simple. You're not going to have Wemby. You're not going to have the argument of Brandon Miller versus Scoot Henderson. You're not going to have which Thompson twin are you going to take. Last year's class by comparison was loaded. But then again, this class could be loaded too. It's just a bunch of Euros that we don't know jack shit about. So that boils down to, I think Zachary Risike is going to go number 1. Now the question is, who's he going to go number 1 to? The Atlanta Hawks are in an interesting position. Do they cut bait with Trae Young and rebuild? At which point you take Risike. Do you trade the pick, or do you try and build around Trae Young? You have 3 options. What do you do? If you're Landry Fields, what do you do? Do you feel you're close in the Eastern Conference? I gotta say no. I gotta say I keep saying the Atlanta Falcons. Wrong bird. The Atlanta Hawks are not close. At least in my view. You got the Celtics, the team they won the thing I like to call the whole fucking thing. You got the Knicks, you got the Cavs, you got the Bucks, you got the Sixers, you got the Magic. Did I mention the Cavs? You got the Cavs. The Bulls are kind of crazy. They just traded Alex Caruso. Like, they're kind of all over the place, but I'd say they're still more talented than the Hawks. I think you're dead in the water. I think you're going to have to move on. The Pacers. I didn't even mention the Pacers. So that's a lot of teams to climb. I'm keeping an eye on the Atlanta Hawks. The other question is, where does Zach Edey go? Is he a lottery pick, or does he drop? Just because he's won the Naismith Award doesn't mean he's an NBA caliber player. Will a team take a flyer on him? Sure, absolutely. Could a team, maybe in the mid-teens, early 20s, maybe take a flyer on him? I don't know. I'm looking at maybe the Toronto Raptors at 19. He's Canadian. Does he fall that far? Don't know, but it's intriguing. And then storyline number 3 for me is, where the hell is Bronny going? That's it. I'm sorry. The Mr. 3.4 points a game, Mr.
I am the law.
I'm staying in here. I'm staying in this thing. Are the Lakers dumb enough to take Bronny at 17? Are they willing to do that? Because, I don't think they are. I don't think they will. The only other thing is that he'll if he lasts to 55, they'll give him, here, we're gonna, take you at 55 just as a thank you for your service to your dad. So as far as, thank you for the bubble championship. So that's what I'm looking for. A lot of Euros, Zach Edey, and LeBron's kid. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm hoping for trades. I'm hoping for a lot of damn trades. That's the only way this is going to be interesting. Trades. Trade them all. Trade everybody. I don't care. Just do it. Please.
Yeah, it would be smart for the Hawks to kind of take the Thunder route and just trade your players and get draft picks. Because now the Thunder, with all their draft picks and all their talent, they look good for the next couple of years. I can't really talk about the foreign players, so I'm just going to focus on the American players. I'm looking forward to seeing if Bronny gets drafted and where he does get drafted. Like you, I'm curious to see what team makes that mistake. I want to see where Reed Sheppard goes, the guard from Kentucky. I think he's, to me, the best player in the draft. I'm not really into Zach Edey. I think he's big, and that's great, but I don't see him as a future superstar, so to speak. I'd like to see where Stephen Castle goes. Stephen Castle. Mm-hmm. He's the guard from UConn. I think he's a very good player, and the Hawks could, if they're going to move on, that might be the route they go. If you're going to move on from Trae Young. And then I do want to see where Dalton Knecht goes.
He's connected to the Spurs.
Yeah, that might be a good look for him, or Charlotte. Screams Charlotte to me. Definitely not a lot of talent, but the NBA has been weird the last couple of years. Outside of Wemby, of course, but you look at Brandon Miller and he's like whatever. A lot of players are coming out that are getting drafted in the 30s and the 20s that are turning out to be good players. Brunson being one.
Jokic.
So, the NBA is tough to predict. It's hard to know, how good these guys are actually going to be when they when they're playing with professional players and professional basketball players.
No, completely. And, it's not like you mentioned Wemby. Like, think about Luka. You had tape on these guys. Like, you can watch, Real Madrid with Luka on them playing against grown-ass men. I'm not sold on any of these Euros. So,
yeah.
We're definitely going to see what happens, but this is the first time in a long time.
I do feel like they're more tested than a college freshman is,
especially in one and done and NIL and transfer portal. Absolutely.
These guys overseas are playing with grown ass men, so I think they're a little more tested. They're a little bit more developed these days. It's not like the Tony Kukoc days where the only time he really took on somebody was when he did play U.S. and in the Olympics or things like that. No, these guys are up against really good competition now all year round, and they follow a similar regiment to NBA players. So
it's a professional league.
But I'm just not interested in the NBA draft. I'm just not. It's not. I feel like they're trying to make it like the NFL draft. Like, why is this going 2 days, man? Like, what are you going to talk about the second day?
You only have 60 picks. 58 picks. I don't see what the issue is. I don't understand it either. The NHL draft, they're going 2 days. So it's the first round is on Friday, 2 through 7 are on Saturday. The NFL has stretched it out to where it's like a friggin' event. You just don't have enough rounds. You don't have second roster spots. It doesn't make sense. Shit, Major League Baseball draft is barely on TV. It's in Secaucus on MLB Network. No offense to the fine city of Secaucus, but I'm sorry. It's not Brooklyn. It's not the Barclays Center. It's a warehouse in Secaucus. So, I get what they're trying to do. I don't think they need to do it. I'm with you. You're making something that's not there. I used to really like the NBA draft. Why? Because it was over in 3 hours.
Right.
That was it.
That was the edge to the event, right? It's like we can get it all done in 1 day. That's more appealing to me than you trying to stretch it out over 2 fucking days.
Right.
I'm almost irritated by the fact that you're stretching into 2 days. You stretching it into 2 days makes me not want to watch it at all. Actually, if I'm being really honest, tell me how you really feel.
There you go. But how many big name players do you see on the move here? Any at all, or?
It's hard to say. The NBA is so strange when it comes to that shit. You think about Luka and Trey getting traded for each other.
Yeah.
Right? How crazy is that shit? You get Kobe Bryant getting traded for Lottie Diva.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't. How can anybody? I don't know what goes on. I'm not in the know on that shit at all.
For all you grill masters, green thumbers, DIY aficionados, and home repair heroes in the Richmond, Virginia area, if you're looking for personal service quality products and a convenient shopping experience, then look no farther than Thacker Ace Hardware in Colonial Heights. Owner Don Rackley and his team of local experts have everything you need to tackle every project around the house. I'm talking Benjamin Moore paint, Milwaukee and Craftsman power tools, plumbing, electric, hardware, the works. For you green thumbers, their nursery department is top notch, and I wouldn't be me if I didn't mention the grills. They have Weber, Blackstone, Big Green Egg, Traeger, I want one of everything. Give them a call today at 804-766-4223 and see how they can assist you. Or swing by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. That's Thacker Ace Hardware, 804-766-4223, or swing by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. Thacker Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
During the airing of our show last week, it was announced that Willie Mays had passed away. The Say Hey Kid was an electrifying player that played the game with power and grace. He had one of the greatest catches in World Series history, and is the best player to wear a Giants uniform. How will you remember Willie Mays?
Well, Willie Mays was one of the pinnacles, one of the pillars, if you will, of the golden age of New York baseball, right? Mickey, Willie, and the Duke. Like, that was it. Each team in New York had a guy, right? He was for the New York Giants. 2-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 24-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glove, 2-time MVP in the All-Star game, won a batting title and a World Series. Like, that's a full career, man. That's an absolutely full career. He was a true five-tool player. You know, you hear about guys today like, oh, five-tool players. Willie Mays was a legit five-tool player. He can hit for power, he can run, he could catch, he could throw. He could do it all. That catch, I mentioned Vic Wertz before, in the 54 World Series. That's a hell of a catch. Over the shoulder like that? Come on.
Yeah.
Basket style? No. Like that is a true legendary play. And 660 homers, career .301 batting average. He was a great all-around player. And he will be sorely missed. And now we get to have that debate of who is the greatest living baseball player. And we'll do that a little bit later. But in terms of the total package, he's the first guy you think of when you think of total package. Because he can steal bases, he can drive in runs, he can hit homers, he can hit singles, he can do whatever you needed to do to win. And, you know, he's a legend. What more can you say? He will be sorely missed. Yes, I did, I mentioned he was a former Met. By the time he got to the Mets, he was broken down. But Father Time is undefeated. He
made the All-Star team that year, though.
He did. He was a shell of himself, and he was a shell of himself, but still managed to do it. So that shows you how talented he was. So, you know, that's something to be said there. Like, it paled in comparison to who he was, but it's still, you know, he casts a huge shadow over this game, and he will continue to do so moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on everything you said. 300 career batting average, 660 home runs, played in Negro leagues, best Giant ever. I think that there's no question about that. Just amazing. He was respected by everybody.
Yeah.
And just amazing the way he played the game. When you had him on your team, you had a chance, right? 24-time All-Star, 12 Gold Gloves.
That's so crazy.
It's fucking crazy, man. You know, and just what you wanted to be like, who you wanted to be like. You know, you wanted to be Willie Mays. Everybody wanted to be Willie Mays when it came to playing on the baseball field. You know, he wanted to be as fast as he was, and he wanted to hit like he was able to hit, and just you never were counted out when he was on your team. I think that's the best way to put it.
No, absolutely. And, you know, there's something to be said about when he came into prominence and who he came into prominence with. It was a big time for baseball. Right out of World War II, you're kind of what are we as a country? You're wondering, like, where do we go from here? We're still struggling with race. We're still struggling with class. We're still struggling with all of these things that we fought a war to preserve, right? We tried to preserve the American way of life in World War II and preserve that around the world. And he wasn't welcome, to not be welcome and to be like other is a problem. And Willie Mays definitely, like, he kind of embraced the spirit of America. Like, I'm gonna go do what I do. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do the best I can, and love me or hate me. Like, that's it. And that's quintessential America right there. He is somebody who achieved the American dream, and he is somebody who will live on forever. And like you said, to this day, people still want to emulate him in some form or fashion, whether as a person or as a baseball player. That's a legacy. That's something that you really kind of need to step back on and really take in. Like, somebody wants to emulate you. That's big time. Speaking of big time, we had a couple of big time series over the weekend. The Yankees lost 2 out of 3 to your Atlanta Braves. And the Orioles, who just got busy beating the dog shit out of the Yankees the night before, proceeded to get swept by the Astros over the weekend. Which was the bigger deal? The 2 out of 3 beat down by the Braves, or the Astros sweep of the Birds?
Yeah, I think it was the first time Birds have been treated that way all season too. I'm actually going to go with the Yankees. I was kind of surprised with how they lost. They got blowed out on Friday. That seems to be their thing. They get blowed out on Fridays. Saturday,
they're on Amazon. You can't see it.
Yeah. They beat Charlie Morton on Saturday, which isn't really that big of a deal. And then they got beat again on Sunday. This is the third series in a row the Yankees have lost, too. And if I can talk honestly about the Braves, I don't think the Braves are any good. So for the Braves to come into the Bronx and beat them the way they did, I thought it said a lot. Nestor he has a sub-4 ERA, but man, he can't get run support. He can't get wins. And as good as Judge and Soto are, everybody else is horrible. Verdugo is 0 for his last 19. 19. He's not gotten a hit in almost 20 at-bats. Gleyber Torres is terrible. He could literally be DFA'd. He is awful. I can't believe how bad he is. And despite all of this, they still have the second or third best record. I think the Phillies have the best record in Major League Baseball right now. Despite all this, the Yankees are still one of the best teams in Major League Baseball.
Yankees have the best record in the American League.
Okay. Which is surprising to me because I see them as a very flawed team. I don't trust their closer. I don't think they trust their closer.
Nope.
And there's just Rizzo's hurt. And LeMahieu is a shadow of what he used to be. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Their catcher can't throw anybody out. Their starting pitching, I guess, is what's really got going on for them as Cole got blasted by the Mets tonight. So, to me, the Astros beating the Orioles, it was surprising, but the games were in Houston. And I expect shit like that from the Orioles, I guess, because the Orioles, I don't know. The Yankees is the one that surprised me. I think that's a bigger deal. It just shows you that they need to make some moves if they're going to compete in October.
So I'm going to go with the Orioles losing to the Astros, not so much from the Orioles standpoint, but from the Astros standpoint. The Astros are not dead. As much as you would like to think they're dead, the Astros are only mostly dead. Now, rumor has it that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is on the trade block, right? And, of course, he was automatically linked to the Yankees because he once said he would never play for the Yankees. Now, what would happen if the Astros actually ponied up and got Vladdy from the Blue Jays? They already cut bait with Jose Abreu. I think that would be a very interesting 1-2 punch with him and Yordan Alvarez. Bregman's Bregman. He's going to do what he's going to do. Altuve is Altuve. But I think you might have a resurgence in that order. But the Astros are not dead. And that should scare a lot of people. They need pitching. They need pitching.
Yeah, they don't have the pitching. They don't have the pitching.
But neither do the Yankees. And the Orioles pitching is young.
The Yankees have starting pitching. They have starting.
Rodon got his shit rocked on Friday. He was crying in the dugout. Matt Olson took me deep again.
What the hell happened?
I don't know.
Just got hit by a train.
Right. But Nestor Cortez. Yeah. But they have Garrett Cole. The Yankees have Garrett Cole. I don't trust Marcus Stroman. I don't trust Nestor Cortez. Clark Schmidt is hurt. Stroman was the best of the bunch this weekend. That's all you need to know. Marcus Stroman is not good. He's okay. Marcus Stroman is okay. Say it with me. Garrett Cole is getting his shit rocked by the Mets right now. So awesome. There you go. So
love it.
The Yankees situation is such offensively that they had to go acquire J.D. Davis from the A's. And he's playing first base tonight. I've seen J.D. Davis, man. J.D. Davis is okay. He's a better version of DJ LeMahieu right now. DJ LeMahieu hasn't been right for 2 years. His feet are fucked. He's been having foot. He literally had foot surgery. He had surgery on his feet. He's Yao Ming.
He led the league in batting average 2 years in a row in two different leagues.
It was COVID. 2019, 2020. 2019 and 2020. Right. He got paid. He's
batting, but then 182 with 6 RBIs. My man.
Pots and pans. My man.
They're walking out.
Yeah, well, at this point, yeah. So, you would think that you would play J.D. Davis at third and play LeMahieu at first, the guy who can't really move. But no, it's the other way around. But the Yankees are regretting that contract, absolutely. But at the time, a 2-time batting champ, yeah, that's something. It's like Luis Arias. Yeah, you're going to pay him. Right? Now, he's 37 and he's broken down. Okay. Rizzo, he's hurt. Stanton, he's hurt. Verdugo, he's regressing to the mean.
Yeah,
right? Your Jahmai Jones is your DH tonight. Jahmai Jones. Not Trent Grisham. Not Aaron Judge. Not Juan Soto. Jahmai freaking Jones.
Can we talk about Jahmai Jones for a second? How when the Yankees were playing the Orioles last week and the bases were loaded, they pinch hit and put up Jahmai Jones instead of Aaron Judge, who was
Aaron Boone's
on
an
the
idiot.
bench.
What the hell do you want me to say? Aaron Boone's an idiot.
Remind me of that commercial, right? There's that commercial where it's like, Derek, you're up. Not you.
Not
the
you.
other one.
The other guy.
Hang in there, rookie. And then this situation, he's like, you want me to bat? Yeah, we want you to bat. Oh, okay. But don't you think, in that situation, if you're Aaron Judge and you're the captain of the team, you need to be like, hey, coach, I can do this. All right, let me pinch hit. Don't you think? That's what the captain of the Yankees should do, right?
Well, we also don't know that that's not what went down, and Boone has his binders and all that bullshit, and you have Fishman telling him, "Oh no, you really can't be hitting right now." Jahmai Jones, yep, Jahmai Jones. But the Braves are a good team. You say what you will about the Braves, they're in wild card contention. They're not that far off from the Phillies. They could possibly win the division.
It's 10 games.
They're okay. They're okay. They have 40 something wins. They're still.
I love your optimism.
On your team, mind you. Your team's not as bad as you say they are.
We can't hit. We can't do anything right. We're lucky.
So
we're in second place in the division.
So no one in the league apparently can, because the Yankees have the second best record in the league, and they're fucking awful. They can't pitch.
Baseball's weird.
Baseball's funny, Susan. But you know what? You get off to a hot start. You can absorb these things. The Yankees got off to a hot start.
Is that what you think? That's what you're attributing it to?
I think that they put up enough padding, right, that they can withstand some of these things. Now they got Cole back. This is Cole's spring training. You're gonna have to live with him getting shelled by the Mets, right? The idea is that he's getting his shit rocked now, but he's gonna be Garrett Cole in October, and that's what you hope for.
I love how Max Fried pitched and gave up 2 hits, and the 2 hits he gave up were to Ben Rice. I think that's hilarious.
Good for Ben Rice.
Where is Ben Rice? Why isn't Ben Rice playing?
Lefty on the mound.
Doing?
Lefty on the mound. So they're playing those lefty-righty matchups.
I don't care about lefty-righty.
I know, Billy Bean. I know you don't care about righty-lefty, but Aaron Boone does. Third time through the order. Once they get into the putrid Mets bullpen, Ben Rice will be in there. Once he's facing Disco King Reed Garrett, then he'll be in there. Once Adam Ottavino is in the 9th inning, and I'm shitting my pants,
Reed Garrett,
because Mr. Diaz got a 10-game suspension, and we'll talk about that in a second. Jesus Christ! After they took 2 out of 3 from the Cubbies, so there's that. But now they're going to be shorthanded for 10 games because you can't replace him. So, good job. But yeah, the Orioles, Riverside. But, the Yankees and Braves, I expected this. They're 2 good teams going at each other. I mean, you had 8-1. That was the only one that was really, out of reach. 8-3 at Yankee Stadium is not out of reach. That a 5-run lead at Yankee Stadium is not exactly, it's not exactly unattainable. And then 3-1 on Sunday. You're looking at the Orioles. The pitching wasn't there. So we'll see. Corbin Burns got rocked for the first time this year. Do they pursue more starting pitching? Because Grayson Rodriguez, okay, fine, whatever. Beyond Corbin Burns, it's a little suspect. It's absolutely a little suspect. So we're definitely going to see what they're made of moving forward. But I am definitely concerned with the Astros that they're not dead. The same thing with the Rangers. The Rangers are getting healthy. They just activated Scherzer, right? Yes, he'll have dead arm in September, but right now he's going to make a difference. And then you're going to have Jacob deGrom eventually, maybe, possibly. Who knows? And if so, for how long? So things are changing. The sea is changing, right? We're about the halfway point of the season. And this is where you start to get a feeling of what's going on. And we're 6 weeks out of the trade deadline. So teams are going to start moving. Teams are going to start assessing. And they're going to determine if they're in or out. So we've only really just begun here. But as far as these go, I got to go with the Orioles. I got to think the Astros are up to something. And they're going to make a move in the American League wild card.
Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. And if you're looking for delicious gourmet handcrafted brownies, then look no farther than Sweet Life Brownie Cup. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave. From the classic OB, to Dutch Apple, to my personal favorite cookie jar, Red Velvet, and many more. Check out their Instagram at sweetlifebrownie_co for their Friday brownie drops. Every Friday at noon, you see what they're making. Or give them a call at 845-641-3043 and tell them a D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownie_co on Instagram, Sweet Life Brownie Co on Facebook, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co, because there's always room for a brownie. Bullshit or no shit? We're going to debunk this week's most controversial topics right
All right, boys and girls, we have a statement, and it's either bullshit or no shit. Bullshit or no shit. Number 1, Edwin Diaz's suspension for sticky stuff.
The only issue I have with this, right, is that there needs to be some kind of universal decision on what's too much goop and what's not enough goop, right? Like, I don't know if they need to bring out a coin and say, hey, put your finger on this coin and see if the coin sticks to his finger, and if it doesn't stick to his finger, you can, you go to the mound, and if it sticks to your finger, then you're out. I mean, this whole thing of them looking at your hand and touching your hand and then saying, okay, you're out. I don't know if I could get behind this. I mean, he didn't even get to throw a warm-up pitch, if I recall.
Nope.
Like,
nope.
It was pretty much like, come here, let me touch your hand.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm saying it's. I think it's no shit. I think he should be suspended. The fact that he didn't even appeal it means he knows what he did, in my opinion. It's just that I'm having a tough time understanding what's right and wrong here. Like, I kind of want the pitcher to be able to grip the ball when he's throwing certain things at my face.
Yeah.
So I that's the only part that makes me nervous. Like, and maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's like, we leave all that shit on the mound. Here, this is the stuff you could do. Put it on your hands right here. Let's see what's going on. Maybe they check you before you even come out on the field. Because think of the time that was wasted. All right, he warmed up in the bullpen. Mm-hmm. He came out to the mound, then got ready to pitch. And before he could even throw a warm-up pitch, they checked his hand and threw him out. Like, couldn't we have done this when he came out of the bullpen? Couldn't we have checked him back there? Or said, hey, dude, before you go out there, let me see your hand? Or, hey, don't put that much shit on your hand because you're going out there. If you're just using rosin and sweat, the fucking rosin bag is on the mound and you're sweating already. So go do it when you get there, right? I mean, right. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like, that's my whole opinion on it. Like, don't do any. When you go to the mound, your hand should be clean. And when you get to the mound, you do whatever you got to do. We'll leave all this shit out there. Throw your warm-up pitches. You'll figure out if you need more, need less, or whatever you need. And that's how it should go. Because once he gets on the mound, then we'll check you when you come off. All right? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that.
Well, this is Edwin Diaz's first ever ejection for this instance. Now, it's a few seasons old, right? He missed all of last year, so he's had time to acclimate to this. So he's not somebody like fresh up from AAA. You get checked at second base. You don't even make it to the mound. So you don't even like they meet you at second base. Like, let me see your hand.
Come here, asshole.
What the hell are you doing in that guy? What are you doing in the bullpen? It looked like he had Elmer's glue on his hand. But, David Cohn came to his defense on the broadcast. There are legal substances that you can use that are allowed by Major League Baseball that will give you that level of tack and that level of goop on your hand.
Yes.
So, yes. Did he appeal? I think he realized you weren't gonna. It's his word against, Vic Carapazza. And at that point, like, what are you going to do? Scrape his hand and send it to a forensics expert? Like, what the hell are you going to... Like, that's the level of CSI Major League Baseball. That's what you have to freaking do here.
He realized he put too much on, and that's what I'm saying.
But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing, though. Other players in this league, when they were met at the mound, and they realized that there's too much shit on, umps let them go wash their hands. So there's a double standard going on that I think is a problem. Domingo Germán.
So you're with me too. You want a universal rule. Like, I want.
Oh yeah,
I want
absolutely.
something
And
that everybody has to oblige by, where it's not this like, you have too much. You're okay. You could wash your hand. You could finish pitching, and then I'll check you after. Like,
we are totally in agreement.
We are totally in agreement. Thing going. And
letter of the law, he should be suspended.
And I think a lot of hitters are on my side, and we're like, listen, I'm not saying you can't have any goop, because I want you to be able to hold on to the ball.
Right.
I just want a fair shot. I just want a fair shot at hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
But I do want you to have control. So I want you to have it on when you're throwing your warm-up pitches to find out exactly where you are. And if you need to put more rosin and more sweat together, or whatever's legal, do it on the mound and just be out there and do it there.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, you can do it. I'm fine with that, because you also need to warm up. You need to get a feel for your pitches in the bullpen too. So you kind of need to be able to safely warm up as well. So there's got to be something that Major League Baseball can do that, even if there's a guy in the bullpen beforehand saying, like you were saying, like, go wash your hands beforehand. Like, there has to be, but there also has to be a uniform application of this rule. Certain players can't be allowed to go wash your hands, and then other guys get handed automatic 10-game suspensions. So only 8 guys have been suspended, right? Only 8 guys have been suspended. So it's one of those things that we like, oh no, you get a mulligan. Bailey Ober, you get a mulligan. Go wash your hands. Max Scherzer, go fuck yourself. 10 games. Like, you can't really, like, it's weird.
Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Exactly. That's what this is, though. Like, they're cherry picking who to suspend, and I find that very strange. But I mean, well, let's be real here. Edwin Diaz has not had a great season anyway. He only has 7 saves. He's got a 4.7 ERA. So, like, maybe a little extra. Maybe he thought he could get away with a little extra on a hot summer night in Chicago. But there needs to be uniform application of the rule. I'm fine with the suspension, only because, like, letter of the law. Absolutely, letter of the law. The spirit of the law is fucked. But letter of the law, he's got to go. Bullshit or no shit number 2. Barry Bonds is the greatest living baseball player.
Oh, man. This is what I wrote down. I feel terrible about this, but I have Barry Bonds and A-Rod. And I'd put A-Rod over Barry Bonds because I do think A-Rod was a better fielder. So I got A-Rod, Barry Bonds, and I got Ichiro, and I got Mike Trout, and I got Shohei Ohtani. That's what I got. So I'm going to say bullshit because I think A-Rod's probably the best living baseball player, as terrible as this sounds.
Wow. I am floored that you would have that.
Sometimes you have to put personal feelings aside and just say the truth. I mean, he's the reason why the Yankees won that 2009 World Series. They were not winning without A-Rod. And I'd like to believe that he does have talent that was not, it was not, overly dramatized by his steroid use. So, yeah, that's what I'm going.
I don't buy it. I don't buy any of it. So, Barry Bonds is a cheating piece of shit. No, thank you. A-Rod, you're a cheater too. Nope, sorry.
But so, if you look at Barry Bonds' numbers before the alleged steroid use, he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still the best. He's still either the best or the second best living ball player if you look at the numbers before steroids. So that alone, I hate him too, and I do think he's a trash human for sure. But I can't take away what he did before and after steroid use. He don't belong in the Hall of Fame, but he's still the best active ball player.
But what did you do to get there? That's the thing. Like, for me, there's a play called Faust. This Faustian bargain. You sold your soul to the devil. Yeah, you were good before, then you became an all-time legend. So, yeah. But I understand that. I understand. However, that shit is tainted for me. It's tainted for me. Sure. I'm sorry.
And that's okay. That's okay. I'm just saying, I'm defending my rationale. Is that when you look at his numbers, you can see when he started using steroids. Like, you can see back in 2000, that's exactly where it started.
Yes, and his head grew.
2001 and 2002, you hit 370. Like, what the fuck, dude? But if I look at his numbers from 1986 to 1999, you're still a Hall of Fame player, and you were fantastic. You were like everybody else, where for 6 years you were fucking dominant. From 1990 to 1997, 1998, you were a fucking monster. So, just looking at those numbers right there, to me, you are the best active. So, I got him and A-Rod, and I put A-Rod above him because I do think A-Rod was the better fielder, and A-Rod won the championship for the Yankees, and the move to third base. That's incredibly hard. I moved from second base to third base, and it was a fucking nightmare. Like, so this man did it in Major League Baseball, and it never affected him, his batting. It never messed with his mindset. He was still able to contribute, and that's where I got it.
And you're entitled to your opinion. A-Rod's a trash human being. He tried to trash the Yankees and take the team from Derek Jeter, and it became a clown show that was all about him. It was a media circus. So I can live without Alex Rodriguez. Barry Bonds, we can talk about that year of dominance, that decade of dominance. Nobody challenged him. Nobody tried to knock him off the plate. Everybody was scared shitless of him. Buck Showalter walked him with the bases loaded. But nobody pitched him tough because he was right on top of the plate and he dared you to do something and you pussed out and you didn't do it. Like, so there's something to be said about that. Like, nobody had the guts to knock him off the plate. Nobody. So if they actually sacked up and pitched to him, maybe be a different story. For me, it's Ken Griffey Jr. I'm sorry. I'm never a hint of steroid suspicion. Great player. 5-tool. We talked about Willie Mays being a 5-tool player. Ken Griffey Jr. was the 5-tool player. Like, he was the guy. He was the face of a generation. Barry Bonds can't be the face of a generation. Absolutely. He's the face of a generation for all the wrong reasons. When we were growing up, everybody wanted to be Ken Griffey Jr., regardless if you were a Mariners fan or not. Like, Ken Griffey Jr. is what they wish Bryce Harper was. They wish Mike Trout is.
I think people
Ken Griffey Jr. is that guy.
I think some people do look at Bryce Harper like that, though. I think some people do.
Bryce Harper, we'll have that conversation when he retires. I think this is a conversation to be had for retired players. You can't be like, we can't have this current because he's still got like 10 years left on his career. Like, he could blow out his knee tomorrow and be done. Or he can go break Barry Bonds' home run record. Right? So, like, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's to the side. We can have that debate later on. But as far as guys whose career is over, their body of work is completed, we can look at it. I like Ichiro. I think that's a very fair idea, right? Now, Ichiro could hit a home run wherever the hell he wanted. He chose not to. That's so fucking crazy to me. Like, I can hit it whenever I want, but I'm not going to do it.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was like Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs could hit a home run wherever the hell he wanted to. Like, he would rather hit an opposite field single. So, and when Ichiro defensively was amazing. Like, guy had a cannon, an absolute cannon for an arm. And then for my third, like I said, like, Griffey's easily number one for me. Ichiro is a solid second. And, there really isn't anybody else. Because then it comes down to the steroids again. Like, Pujols, I don't know, man. Pujols was a great power hitter. I wouldn't say he was a great all-around baseball player. Right? Frank Thomas, great hitter. I wouldn't, not a great all-around baseball player. Like, the greatest what might have been was Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, if he didn't hurt his hip, we might not be having this conversation because Bo Jackson might be the answer. Like, he is certainly what might have been. And that's something that we'll never know. But for me, I got to go with the face of the generation. I have to go with the kid. Bullshit or no shit, number 3. The U.S. men's national team needs to win Copa America ahead of hosting the World Cup.
I don't really know, like, win it for what? For what purpose? Like, are you trying to say to get more people interested in soccer, or just for soccer to be more, like, successful here? Like, I don't really know. So I'm going to say bullshit. I don't think they need to. I mean, soccer is going to carry on with or without the United States. I think it would be good for the United States to fucking, be in it and make it, but I don't think they have to.
I think it's no shit from the standpoint of they need to figure out who the hell they are as a team before they go to the World Cup. You have the whole Gio Reyna situation with Greg Berhalter. He's out. There are 2 interim coaches. Now Greg is back. Who's the striker on this team? Is this team actually legit? Like, are they a collection of players or are they a team? Because, you have Pulisic. You have Tyler Adams. You have McKinney. You have Balogun. You have talented players, but does that make you a team? Matt Turner. Like, he's supposed to be the greatest keeper since Tim Howard. Like, is he? I've seen Matt Turner. He's not as good. He's not that good. So, are we inflating these guys because we want to believe so badly? Or can they do it? They need it for their own psyche. They need to figure out who they are as a team. Berhalter needs to do that. And then maybe when we get to 2026, they'll have some semblance of success and they can breathe a little bit. It also helps that, you have international competition here, right? Yeah, they beat the doors off of Bolivia, right? It was a 60-40 possession split in favor of the U.S. 20 shots, 8 shots on goal, compared to Bolivia's 6 shot attempts, 3 shots on goal. So it's something that they need to have that taste of success. And they're going to make it in their group. They're most likely going to advance. The one thing is that Uruguay is in that group. They may be the second place team coming out of that group. So we'll really see. But this is Copa America, right? So you're not going to get St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You're not going to get St. Kitts and Nevis. You progress in this thing, you're going to get tested. Right? You're going to get Uruguay. You're going to get Argentina. You're going to get Brazil. You're going to get some legit teams. And that could be the confidence boost. That could be the absolute confidence boost that this team needs to say, hey, we can hang on the world stage. They're ranked number 11 in the FIFA rankings. So they're not that far off, but they seem light years behind everybody else. So maybe winning, they do. They seem absolutely light years behind the rest of the world. So we thought Qatar was going to be something. It wasn't. We'll see what happens this go round, but a little taste of confidence on an international stage is always a good thing. And it's not a Gold Cup where it's like Mexico, Canada, and last time was Qatar. Why was Qatar competing in the Gold Cup? I don't know. But this will be a good thing. It'll be a good thing individually. It'll be a good thing collectively. And, the growth of soccer is secondary at this point. You know how you grow the game? You win. That's how you grow the game in this country. You win. How did women's soccer grow? They fucking won. And they won, and they won, and they won. So that's how it's going to be. You can be as talented as you want to be. You could be the most talented person. Eventually, you got to win something. If you're going to be the greatest generation, you're going to be the golden generation. Put your money where your mouth is. Prove it. Win something. Now's the time.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today and check out our releases in apparel, accessories, drinkware, and more. Ever wanted an Alleged Superstar t-shirt? We got those. You want some yoga pants? We got those too. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of exciting collaborations and new products on the way. But check out what we have now at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. FadeRoute.com. Who's the best of the worst this week in sports? The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award. All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ and our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I don't.
Sergei Bobrovsky. So he didn't get the Conn Smythe, but he got the coveted ass trophy. So good for you, Officer.
There you go.
It's a consolation prize.
Something.
He got
He's
something.
Walking away with something.
Good for you. He's got the Stanley Cup. So, like, I gotta say, he's got two really nice prizes. So that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week?
My first one is Kelly Stafford, the wife of Matthew Stafford.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say this one.
Podcast. You recently went on a podcast and talked about how you dated the backup quarterback on Georgia while Matt was there to make him jealous. Why would you go on a podcast and say this shit? What the fuck is the matter with you? Kelly Stafford, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, the Lakers. JJ Redick. This is the guy you decided to go with to lead the team? JJ Redick? Out of everybody, you decided JJ Redick is going to be your coach for the Lakers. Lakers front office, you are my Alleged Superstars of the Week. And last but not least, Major League Baseball. The Nationals lost to the Rockies on Major League Baseball's first walk-off pitch violation. This happened on Sunday when Kyle Finnegan had his 9th pitch clock violation of the season with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning. It was not a home run. It was not a single. It was not even a walk. It was a pitch clock violation. I'm sure everyone in attendance was so excited to see that's the ending to the game. Major League Baseball, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. What do you got, Z?
I was going to try and sneak that pitch clock violation past you. But, yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. But the Nationals are back in... We're going to talk about the Nationals again. Jesse Winker. Apparently, he thought it was a good idea to challenge a 56-year-old man to a fight in the stands. So, this is Nationals Padres. So, there was a knockdown pitch, a brushback pitch. This fan is screaming from the stands, as fans want to do. And Jesse Winker is one of the guys who went and were saying, like, it's not intentional. Like, this is part of the pitch sequence. Like, this is how you play baseball. And the guy just wouldn't let it go about it being Bush League. And then apparently he's like, well, what do you know? I'm 56. What are you, 26? And Jesse Winker, in his ever mature response, is, I'm 30 and I have no problem kicking a 56-year-old man's ass. Thanks, Jesse. Way to go. Good job, buddy. Jesus Christ. There's a thing called escalation and de-escalation. You chose to escalate the situation where this is right at the Anthony Rendon school of dealing with fans. So you're saying I'm a bitch. Jesus Christ.
Anthony Rendon school.
This Anthony Rendon School of Media Relations. So you're saying I'm a bitch.
So you're saying I'm a bitch. Anthony, sit the fuck down.
Yeah, no problem knocking a 56-year-old man the fuck out. Jesse Winker, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Oh my God. Number 2, Edwin Diaz. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? 10 games for goop on your hands. I don't know what the fuck what the hell were you doing in the bullpen? What was that shit all over your hands?
Obviously Taylor's thinking. I don't know
what the hell he's thinking. So it's insane. Like, Hot Hands Heyman didn't put enough shit on there, like in Little Giants, man. You put way too much of that stuff on. Oh my God. And now the Mets are shorthanded
for 10 games because you couldn't get a grip on the baseball. So, thanks, Edwin. Sugar is sticky. Edwin Diaz, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And the last, but certainly not least, is CONMEBOL. As we're here in Copa America, we're just looking at all of these fields. AT&T Field, Atlanta. We have MetLife. They have all of this grass over the turf. The problem is that the grass is so shitty and not seamed properly, and it looks terrible. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Did you guys not think? Did you guys not think about putting grass down before the fucking tournament started? Like, hey, we're gonna play soccer here. Let's put some fucking grass down and let it grow. No, instead we're gonna go to friggin' God knows where. We're gonna go to Home Depot. We're gonna go to Lowe's. We're gonna get some turf rolls. We're gonna sod this fucker. We just roll it all out. We're gonna roll it all out. We got this. It's all right. The same guy who did the friggin' grass for the Super Bowl, like Mr. What was his name? The Turf Father or some shit. The Sod Father. Sod Father. Yeah, they got him again probably. That dipshit. So, way to go, CONMEBOL. You're lucky that nobody's gotten hurt yet. CONMEBOL, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we've said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ or go to our Instagram page at FadeRoute Podcast and vote. And for our nominees.
You're better than that. Just do better. Just do better.
This has been the Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So until next time, stay fade, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review, rate us 5 stars, turn on subscription notifications, and share on social media. Tell your friends and spread the word.